Happening this week in Fulton. Early voting begins at the special election to fill the interim seat left vacant by civil rights icon Congressman John Lewis.
There are multiple locations for Fulton voters to cast their ballots early, and important information about requesting an absentee ballot for the special and general election. I'm Douglas Bell, and I'll have details on both.
And there's a timeline to get tested at one major COVID-19 testing facility. Those stories plus an update on the Census Countdown and the strategy to address the digital literacy divide on this edition of Fulton Today that starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Just a little over a month after the last runoff election, Fulton voters head right back to the polls for a special election. Early voting starting this week with multiple locations, and some are opting to vote via absentee. FGTV's Douglas Bell joins us now with our election update. DB?
Shania, Fulton's registration and elections team had a quick turnaround after the August runoff election to prepare for the September 29th special election to fill the Georgia 5th Congressional District seat. The seat left vacant after the passing of Congressman John Lewis. And yes, early voting is now underway at more than a half dozen locations. From Tuesday, September 8th through Friday, September 25th from 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. and on Saturday, September 19th, during those same hours, voters can cast an early ballot at the Buckhead Library, the C.T. Martin Natatorium and Recreation Center, the College Park Library, the Evelyn G. Lowry Library at Cascade, the Metropolitan Library, the Northwest Branch at Scotts Crossing Library, and the Ponce de Leon Avenue Library.
And for those voting in person, there are some safety protocols the county is asking voters to take, correct?
Yes, when you vote in person, out of consideration of fellow voters and poll workers, Fulton County is asking voters to please wear a mask or face covering when voting and to practice social distancing by staying at least 6 feet apart. And because officials are expecting lines at peak times, they are actually encouraging residents to vote by mail.
And speaking of voting by mail, what is the process?
For the September 29th special election, residents can use Fulton County's absentee ballots page to download an application or go to the My Voter page. And for the general election in November, in addition to the county's absentee ballots page, the Secretary of State also has a new website where residents can request an absentee ballot.
And Douglas, back to the early voting locations. Now, we need to remind folks that the State Farm Arena is not a location for the September special election, right?
Correct. Not for the September special election, but it will be a special location for the November special election for early voting.
And finally, for those who need to register or who may have moved, what do they need to do?
It's too late to register to vote for the September 29th special election. However, the voter registration deadline for the November 3rd election is October 5th. Visit the Fulton County voter registration page on the county's website.
All right, very important information, Douglas Bell. Thank you so very much. Now, once again, visit the county's voter webpage or visit the Secretary of State's election site for all of your voting questions and for a look at the ballot. And still to come, workers impacted by COVID-19 get free help in the form of digital literacy. We'll explain when we come back. COVID-19 testing is still available to all residents at various locations throughout the county. However, one of the huge sites will be closing on September 11th. FGTV's Priscilla Baylog joins us now with the very latest. Priscilla?
Shania, there are a number of locations available for residents to get tested at various locations. More on that in a bit. But time is running out to get tested at the drive-through mega testing site near Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The testing drive-through site, which is open to all Georgians at 1800 Sullivan Road in College Park, will stay open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. until September 11th. Staff at the mega testing site has the capacity to test up to 5,000 residents and provide results in 48 to 72 hours. While that location is scheduled to close September 11th, there are other locations available throughout Fulton County. Hours vary at each location, and organizers say to arrive at least an hour before the scheduled closing time to allow for enough time to get tested. Times are subject to change, especially during rainy weather, so residents are encouraged to visit coreresponse.org/COVID-19-Atlanta the day of testing to confirm testing site information. That link and information on how to schedule an appointment is also on our website, fultoncountyga.gov/COVID-19 testing. So far, there have been more than 498,000 COVID-19 tests conducted across Fulton County. Local health officials are testing some people more than once, in particular people that have been exposed to somebody with COVID-19 or they develop symptoms after a negative test. All residents can get tested regardless of symptoms, and all tests are free. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is also stressing the importance of wearing masks when out in public. The CDC recommends wearing a mask that has at least 2 layers of washable, breathable fabric that completely cover your nose and your mouth, and make sure you do not have a mask that has exhalation valves or vents which can release virus particles. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Baylog.
All right, thank you very much, Priscilla. Meanwhile, Fulton County partners with Goodwill and the Metro Atlanta Chamber to help workers impacted by COVID-19. Now, this help comes in the form of free digital literacy to help people get back into the workforce. Here's a look at the special announcement.
I am really excited about this partnership, a program that will be very beneficial to helping our citizens of Fulton County who happen to have been displaced, lost their jobs as a result of the virus. Because not only will we be providing training for them, we will be assisting them with finding employment
services. So the way this will work is that any of the Fulton County residents who have been impacted by this pandemic can go to any one of Goodwill's 13 career centers free of charge, and they can go directly in for face-to-face work, or those who would rather go and use the services via our careerconnector.org website, they can do that and never even leave their homes. When they finish up this career training program, they'll have a certification to not only find one job, but really position them for a full-scale career. And that's why, again, we're so excited about these opportunities.
So ensuring that our workforce has in-demand skills, creating new job opportunities, and connecting these displaced workers with those jobs are key to getting our economy back on track. So the forward thinking from Fulton County should be applauded. Partnering with Goodwill to provide training and resources, we can connect Fulton County residents to the jobs that are open and have them get back onto their feet and connected into the community.
The jobs are available. So it's matching folks with skills to those jobs, which is in the end where this truly pays off.
Now, to enroll in Career Reboot Fulton, Fulton County residents can email careerservices@ging.org or call 844-344-WORK. That is 844-344-9675. Or they can visit one of the Goodwill Career Centers. And when we come back, a look at the Census Countdown and what the county is doing to get everyone counted. Stay with us. After multiple extensions, the push to get everyone counted for the 2020 census is wrapping up. So, what is Fulton County doing in its final census countdown? Intergovernmental Affairs Manager Fran Calhoun has been leading this effort for Fulton. Ma'am, welcome back to Fulton today.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
So it's been a while since you have been here to talk with us. So briefly remind everyone what the 2020 census is and why it is so critically important.
Yes, indeed, the census is extremely important. The 2020 census is what we call the decennial census. It's taken every 10 years. This is the 24th in our nation's history. The first was taken in the year 1790 and administered by then Thomas Jefferson. And it is the most inclusive citizen involved activity we have in our nation. We count every resident, whether you are a citizen or not. We count every household in America. And the reason it's so important is because it informs the basic funding for all of our neighborhoods, our states, our localities, and it's also the building block of our democracy. We determine how many representatives each state gets in the U.S. House of Representatives based on that population data. And with the 2020 census, this is the first year that most residents will complete the census online. And of course, 2020 turned out to be an important year for us to be able to have online access due to the COVID-19 virus. And so residents can complete their census by going to my2020census.gov. It is 10 questions for 10 years of funding. We will receive an estimated $2,300 per resident in the state of Georgia. So we're looking at each resident counting towards federal funding annually of $2,300. And of course, for that 10-year period, $23,000. And so you can imagine how important those dollars are to communities that are underinvested. What we have been sharing with residents is that they must participate in this important civic activity. Underserved communities must also know that if they are not counted, then they will not receive the accurate dollars. And that's for all of our communities. We depend on these dollars for schools and for roads and for health care. Everything that we do in our nation is based on census data. I like to say all things essential are based on the census.
And as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic, how has that impacted the 2020 census operation and its outreach efforts?
Wow, well, I tell you, COVID-19 has had a tremendous impact on the 2020 census. The census went live on March 12, and of course, 4 days later on March 16, we were beginning to shut down in our state. And so you can imagine we had to very quickly pivot from in-person planned events to virtual events. Operations at the Census Bureau had to quickly shift. And so it has been one of pivoting and transitioning and of course trying to do community outreach in that way, informing and educating the public has been quite a bit of a challenge, but we have amplified the message by going on to digital platforms and communicating via television and radio and participating in events where our residents are going, like our food distribution centers, but it's clearly been one for the ages. One of the things that's so important for the public to know is that as we begin our path to recovery from COVID-19, it is census data that will inform how much we will receive in the way of federal recovery dollars. And so for this crisis and many others, natural disasters and the like that may come within the next decade, we need to make sure that we have accurate population numbers for our census count. And so we encourage everyone to please not to slight their communities by not getting counted. We need every single dollar in our communities to be able to come back and have a healthy community. And so we urge everyone to get counted.
Well, great work by you and your entire census team and partners. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. We are so grateful to be here to share this important message. The 2020 census is easy, it's safe, and it's important. Get counted today.
And still to come, get ready to get your creative juices flowing virtually. We'll tell you how when we come back. Well, registration is underway for Fulton County Arts and Culture digital arts classes. Now, these classes are free, but class size is limited. Lionel Thomas is the county's Arts and Culture Department Director. Hey, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me today.
All right, so tell us about these digital arts classes.
Fulton County Arts and Culture is very happy to offer free classes to the Fulton County residents in our art centers. They're virtual classes in just about every artistic discipline for all artistic abilities. And we're excited to open up registration for those classes that will start on September 15th and run through November 3rd.
And we mentioned it's free, but class size is limited?
The classes are free and the class size is limited to 30 participants. So the first 30 who sign up will be accepted into the classes.
And exactly how long will the classes last and how can people get involved?
The classes will last a total of 8 weeks, beginning September 15th, running through November 3rd. To sign up for those classes, you can go to fultonarts.org or you can call 404-682-5780 for more information.
Lionel, wrap it up for me.
We are very excited to be able to offer these classes during the pandemic. We recognize the therapeutic value of the arts and what it means to helping relieve some of the stress that is the result of people being sheltered in place or isolating. So we're excited to be able to offer these classes to help also to improve the quality of life for all our residents.
Well, way to keep people engaged during these uncertain times. Arts is most certainly good for the soul. It is good to see you again.
Thank you for having me today. I'm very excited.
All right, now once again, visit fultonarts.org for more information. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also check out our YouTube channel, so please do us a favor and subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.